On the news, many fear dead as suspected herders attack Otobi Akpa community in Benue State. Governor Muftuang bans night grazing in Plateau State, restricts use of motorcycles. Global hunt begins as Interpol backs EFCC probe into CBEX scam. It's a pleasure to have you join News Now on TV360 Nigeria. I am Victoria Akonde. Now, we begin in Benue State, where suspected herdsmen launched a fresh attack on Otobi community, Akpa district of Otukpo local government area. Details provided by residents reveal that the attack occurred at about 5:30 p.m. on Tuesday, with an unconfirmed number of persons reportedly killed and many fleeing the community. The Benue State Police spokesperson Suwese Aneni, who confirmed the incident to journalists, said she woke up to the situation report but is yet to receive further details. The latest attack comes amid a surge in killings and kidnappings by gunmen in several local government areas of Benue State. Now in Plateau, Governor Caleb Muftuang has announced a ban on night grazing and restricted the use of motorcycles across the state following incessant attacks. The governor also prohibited the transportation of cattle by vehicles at 7 p.m. In a state broadcast on Wednesday, Muftuang described the attacks as coordinated acts of terror aimed at displacing residents and undermining their rights to exist peacefully on their ancestral lands. It said the directives take immediate effect, with the restriction on motorcycle use in place from 7 p.m. to 6 a.m. across the state until further notice. Moving on, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has launched a comprehensive investigation into an alleged 1.3 trillion naira cryptocurrency fraud connected to the now-defunct digital investment platform Crypto-Back Exchange, CBEX. According to the EFCC, the Commission is collaborating with the International Criminal Police Organization, Interpol, to trace local and international suspects involved in the massive scam. CBEX, said to have been run by a group of foreign nationals in collaboration with Nigerian partners, abruptly shut down operations on Monday. Meanwhile, the Securities and Exchange Commission has issued a fresh warning to Nigerians, declaring that all investment and digital asset platforms not registered with the Commission are operating illegally. The head of external relations to the SEC, Efe Bello, said the newly signed Investment and Security Act 2025 empowers the Commission to act firmly on cases like the CBEX fraud, adding that the law sets clear rules for digital asset platforms to ensure transparency and trust. Now let's get expert insight on Nigeria's digital asset regulations, especially following the alleged CBEX crypto fraud. A financial and analyst, Feyi Fawaini, joins me on the news. Thank you very much for your time. Now, despite repeated warnings, many Nigerians continue to fall victim to Ponzi schemes like CBEX. What underlying financial or psychological factors drive this persistent attraction to high-risk, unregulated platforms?
So thank you. That's a good question. I think there are many factors at play here, and one of them is the way people can form communities, which are sort of black holes, and those communities are not visible to anybody until something bad happens. So people can gather on the internet of like-minded people, and sometimes, like-minded people, they can go wrong in the sense that everybody in the group thinks the same way, right? So there's this Yoruba saying that everyone is sleeping and facing the same direction, and I think that's kind of like what happens here, whereby you have communities form of like-minded people who are all thinking the same way, who are all looking for the same thing, and there is really nobody in those groups that is able to say, hang on a minute, there's something wrong in here. And obviously we have regulatory problems in the sense that our regulators are very reactive. They don't seem to think of being proactive and prevention as part of their job. So it's a multitude of factors. Obviously, people want to make money quickly. Everything else seems hard. And when an easy opportunity comes up, people jump on it. Sometimes people even know that these things are dangerous, but they want to go into it because they think that if I get in early, I might be able to get out early, and I won't be one of the victims. But in the end, no, they never tell you when a Ponzi scheme is going to end.
Now, sir, with the Securities and Exchange Commission now enforcing the 2025 Investment and Securities Act, how effective is this new regulation compared to previous frameworks in curbing illegal digital asset platforms, and what additional measures are needed to protect investors?
So I think one thing we always have to realize about regulation is that regulation is for people who are going to keep to the law. Right. So if you and I, for example, and the government says don't kill people or something, it is really for people who are not going to, but people who are criminals or who are fraudsters, the regulation does not matter to them. It doesn't matter. A fraudster is not going to say, okay, the law has changed. Maybe I shouldn't do this fraud anymore. Rather, what they will find is another way to get around even the new regulation. So the people who are going to break the law, who are going to be fraudsters, are going to continue. The regulation is not going to stop them. So that's the first thing. I think what the regulator needs to do, regardless of what the latest law or what the latest thing is, to be a bit more proactive. Now, CBEX has blown up. People have lost money. All the regulators and the police, everyone is coming out and saying, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. I mean, some of these things can be prevented. CBEX, it happened openly. People were talking about it on Twitter, and everyone knew that, look, this thing looks dangerous, but the regulator never said anything. So now that it has blown up, the regulator is now showing up. That going forward, there will be another one tomorrow. I mean, there's a whole long list of Ponzi schemes that have happened in Nigeria. We need a regulator who can kind of have a forward-looking view, can be proactive. Regulators can be monitoring social media. They can have they can develop tools to monitor social media. When they start seeing something, is gaining some kind of traction, that is the time to step in and say, start warning people like, look, there's something going on here, or investigate. What is the use now when the regulator comes out after everyone has lost their money, people have destroyed buildings and all of that? I mean, the next fraudster, the next Ponzi scheme is not going to say, oh, Nigeria has a new Investment Securities Act 2025. Maybe I'm not going to launch this Ponzi scheme anymore because of this new act. That's not going to happen. That's just not how things work. So unless if the regulator really wants to be useful in this conversation and wants to be helpful, they have to develop tools to be proactive, monitor things. These things are being talked about on social media. You are hearing about them. People heard about all this stuff. People heard about this thing. They were talking about it openly. Obviously, it has blown up now because the scheme has ended. But no matter what the law is, no matter what the regulation is, the regulator needs to be on the front foot and be a bit more proactive.
All right, well, let's watch as events unfold. Financial expert Feyi Fayoimi, thank you very much for sharing your insights on the news. Thank you. Now, moving on, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu of Lagos State has urged stakeholders in the energy sector to focus more on the sustainability and generation of 24 hours uninterrupted power supply for economic development. The governor said this at the maiden edition of the Lagos Energy Summit. He stressed the need for collaboration to ensure clean energy to drive growth of the small and medium-scale enterprises. The Commissioner for Energy and Mineral Resources, Biodun Ogunleye, in his opening remarks noted that quality research and analysis would be done to assess the needs of residents and deliver energy requirements that would benefit them.
Vision is simply yet ambitious, is to make Lagos a 24/7 economy, which is powered by a clean, reliable, and affordable energy. I think the word affordability there, it's a very strong word. The vision aligns with the global climate goals, Nigeria's energy transition objective, and our commitment to building a resilient and sustainable future for generations to come. The generations that are here, they are just waiting to kick us out. And if we do nothing, they will certainly not forgive us. We believe to achieve this vision, we have to take bold steps at repositioning Lagos and I dare say other subnationals in energy reform. Following the enactment of the Lagos Electricity Law, we inaugurated the Lagos Electricity Regulatory Commission last week an independent regulatory to oversee licensing, compliance, and consumer protection within our electricity market. Additionally, we have established the Lagos State Independent Systems Operator to manage grid operations within the state, optimize power distribution. We believe it will promote system stability, it will enhance transparency and reliability. We believe these institutions are critical for our long-term vision of a self-sufficient and reliant electricity sector, one that is responsive to the needs of our people and will attract investors.
Still in Lagos, the state government has unveiled the newly constructed commercial court of the High Court. The court located at Takpa, Lagos Island will serve as an institutional tool for enforcing fiscal and regulatory responsibility to the state and citizens. The governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, at the unveiling on Tuesday, described the new court as a game-changer with cutting-edge technology where economic barriers and business disputes will be addressed for economic growth. Sanwo-Olu said the court would bring a new era in speedy dispensation of justice within months.
To our business community, we have heard you loud and clear. We have provided what you wanted. And as a listening government, we take all of your feedback from us. We know all your frustration of protracted long litigation, bureaucratic hurdles. We want to say to you that those times are over today. We have turned a new page. This court, we believe, is engineered to streamline commercial dispute resolution. We believe it will eliminate unnecessary delays, and we believe it will prioritize merit. This, we believe, underscores the Lagos State commitment to fostering not just what we say, but a truly business-friendly environment that commences work for everyone. This initiative goes beyond just an infrastructure or a legal system. It is about our people. It is about our thriving entrepreneurs. It is about our young, dynamic population. It's about our innovators, our thinkers and our doers. It's about the future of commerce, economy, of Africa's model megacity. It's about small, large businesses. It's about ensuring that we put our economy on a total forward-looking that is not reversible. It is for every Lagosian resident who will benefit from a thriving commercial landscape.
Now, amid the current security challenges which continue to pose daily threats in Borno State, women are rising above the odds with remarkable resilience and determination to work. In this report, we capture the story of Rita Nwosu, who has defied societal expectations to become the first known female tricycle rider in our community. TV360's correspondent Solomon Josiah has more.
Rita Nwosu boldly ventured into the male-dominated transport business, driven by a desire to make a difference and support her family after her unsuccessful attempt in series of business. Today, she navigates the streets of Maiduguri with pride. Her tricycle symbolizes not just a source of livelihood, but also a beacon of strength and progress for women in conflict-affected areas.
I have run several businesses which did not favor me before I decided to go into a business, different business that is not common to women. So when I started it 2022, it was like a joke. The first time I started, it was like a joke. People see me, what is this woman doing? Does she think she can do this? This is not the type of work or business that women do. But you know, when you decide to do something without looking about what the society say or without looking about what people say about you, business that will give you joy, a business that you do with so much happiness and courage in you. So that is what led me to this business, and a business that will encourage other women also.
Supported by her husband and family, Nwosu's story is one of the perseverance, empowerment, and a challenge to traditional gender roles. Speaking about her experience, she remains comfortable and committed to her work despite criticism and challenges.
There was a day in Baga Road, someone gave me a hot slap for no good reason. Because I was driving, you know how Baga Road is. For me to clear on the way, the person could not hold on. He just have to jump down from his vehicle and gave me a dirty slap. That day I cried through the night. But I did not give up because I know my aim. I know what I'm targeting. I did not give up. I continued. So that is the challenges I face. And you know, the keke is also an old one. At times I end up in the mechanic from morning to night. The next day you continue. That is just it. I'm not ashamed of doing what I'm doing. I am not ashamed at all. As long as I go out every morning and I work, and God bless me that day, I come back and I buy something to feed my family. I am happy.
Passengers who have patronized Nwosu commended her courage, resilience, and work ethic, describing her as a symbol of agility and determination in a region striving for peace and inclusion.
She is one of the most resilient and dedicated women I have ever known. From the moment I met her, I noticed how committed she is to whatever she set her mind to. She rides her tricycle every day with ease and confidence. Never once I have seen her struggle. It is honestly inspiring to watch.
They see woman like this doing this kind of work. So it means that woman have that kind of man. At least what a man can do, woman can do better than this at least. So appreciative. You understand? So I'm so happy to see her like that.
Nwosu's story serves as a powerful reminder that, even in the face of adversity, determination and resilience can break barriers. As more women like her step into unconventional roles, they not only redefine societal norms, but also inspire a new generation to pursue their dreams, no matter the odds. Solomon Josiah, TV360, Borno.
It's time for a break. Still to come on news. WHO countries strike landmark agreement on tackling future pandemics. We'll give you details shortly. Welcome back. Now let's take you through our major stories. Gunmen have attacked the Otobi community Apa district of Otupo local government area in Benue State. The attack occurred at about 5:30 p.m. on Tuesday, with an unconfirmed number of persons reportedly killed and many fleeing the community. We also told you that the Plateau State Governor, Caleb Mutfwang, has announced a ban on night grazing and restricted the use of motorcycles across the state following incessant attacks. In the state broadcast on Wednesday, Mutfwang described the attacks as coordinated acts of terror aimed at displacing residents and undermining their rights to exist peacefully on their ancestral lands. Well, in case you missed any of our news bulletins or for more updates, you can catch us on Limex World TV and AVO TV or log on to our website on www.tv260nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram and YouTube at TV260 Nigeria, or download our mobile app on Google Play Store, Huawei App Gallery and Apple Store. On Facebook, we are at TV260 Online.
In the last 3 years, we have built a multi-purpose center, which is the envy of all in our constituency. And I can tell you that the people who are living there are already enjoying it.
Guy, do you think what this man just said is true? See, I seriously doubt. I'm sure it's one of those their silly lies.
Wait, do you know there's a way to find out if these things he's saying is true or not? This is the Construct app. It gives people like us a sure way to track implementation of constituency projects. It gives valid and verified information on location of projects, amounts allocated, amount funded, the level of job done, and even the profiles of concerned legislators. You and I can post directly on this app.
Are you serious?
This is the GoTour app if you want to know how our Commonwealth is being expanded by the government.
Wow. Let's even see if what this man said is true. Show me.
The Construct app is developed by Other People Nigeria with support from USAID and is available on both Google Play Store and Apple Store.
And it's true.
Of course, I told you.
It's time for business news with Joy Uchejim. Over to you, Joy.
Thank you, Victoria, and welcome to Business News. Now, the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority says the importation of premium motor spirits, also known as petrol, in Nigeria reduced by 29.9 million litres in over 8 months. The Chief Executive Officer of NMDPRA, Farouk Ahmed, spoke during a press briefing organized by the Presidential Communications Team at the State House in Abuja on Tuesday. According to the NMDPRA CEO, the country's daily petrol importation decreased from 44.6 million litres in August 2024 to 14.7 million litres as of April 13th. He says local petrol production increased by 670% during the same period, attributing the drop in imports to increased contributions from local refineries.
Where we are today, and where is the West African market. So what we did here, we looked at the cost of a liter in some West African countries, and we converted it into the current naira exchange rate to see what is the estimated cost of that in terms of naira. So when we look at our neighbors in Cameroon, a liter costs 2,156 naira. As against Nigeria, we took the average Abuja price of maybe approximately 950 naira per liter. So if in Nigeria is 950 naira per liter, Cameroon is 2,156 naira per liter. In Chad, is 1,875 naira per liter. In Niger, is 1,167 naira per liter. In Ghana, is 1,581 naira per liter. And this is, we just look at the West African country. In Senegal, which is a bit further away, is 2,540 naira per liter. Some of these countries do not have refineries. Some of these countries are landlocked, so they get petrol from the coastal countries and transport it up, and you can see why it is expensive, and you can see why sometimes there is cross-border trade because of this aberration in pricing.
And still on business, amid sweeping tariffs imposed by the United States government, the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria has said the 14% tariff on imported products may have a significant impact on Nigeria's trade and industrial landscape. In a statement, the Director General of MAN, Segun Ajayi Kadir, said that the U.S. remains one of Nigeria's most significant trade partners, accounting for approximately 7% of its non-oil exports. The MAN DG warns that the new tariff regime directly threatens this trade dynamic, particularly as Nigeria has projected an ambitious 55 trillion naira budget, despite a downward trend in global crude oil prices. We'll take a short break and return with stock market reports. Welcome back. Now, the trading activities in the Nigerian equities market closed negative at the end of Wednesday as the NGX ASI decreased to 103,851 from 104,580.44 recorded at the close of the previous trading day, which was Tuesday. Now, on the losing side, Guarantee Trust Holding came out last with an end-of-day price depreciation of 11.94% at 59 naira, followed closely by Zenith Bank. Now, the market saw summary of today's trading session on the Nigerian Stock Exchange is that a total of 351 million shares in 12,141 deals, corresponding to a market value of 13 billion naira, were traded. Now, on the foreign scene, our select global equities closed with mixed outcome after the previous day's losses. Now, the Japan's Nikkei and the US Dow Jones suffered a bearish close, while the UK's FTSE increased by 0.32%. And in the foreign exchange markets, the naira depreciated further against major foreign currencies. That's trading 1,020 naira to a dollar, 2,120 naira to a British pound, and 1,810 naira to the euro. That will business and stock market updates. Back to you, Victoria, for the rest of the news.
Thank you very much, Joy, for that update. Now, moving to the global scene, Al-Shabaab fighters have on Wednesday attacked a town in central Somalia, which government forces have been using as a staging area for their efforts to drive back the militants. The town Adan Yabal lies around 245 kilometers north of Mogadishu and has been used as an operating base for raids on Al-Shabaab. The outcome of the battle was not immediately clear, with government forces and Al-Shabaab giving conflicting accounts. Al-Shabaab, which has waged an insurgency since 2007 to seize power and rule based on its strict interpretation of Islamic Sharia law, says its forces had overrun 10 military installations so far. Still on the global scene, after more than 3 years of talks and one last marathon session, delegates at the World Health Organization's headquarters have finally agreed on how to tackle future pandemics and avoid the mistakes made during the COVID-19 crisis. The core of the agreement is a proposed pathogen access and benefit sharing system aimed at allowing the swift sharing of pathogen data with pharmaceutical companies, enabling them to quickly start working on pandemic fighting products. In the end, the 32-page agreement was entirely highlighted in green, indicating all had been fully approved by WHO member states. The delegates described the approval of the text as a victory for global cooperation. On sports, Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu will sponsor skate athletes to participate in the International Skateathon in Calabar 2025, where they will proudly represent the state. Team Lagos departed for Calabar on Tuesday ahead of the opening games on Wednesday. The Senior Special Assistant to the Governor on Grassroots Sports Development, Adebanji Atewogboye, recommended Skate Lagos for sponsorship, highlighting the Governor's visionary approach to nurturing talent at the grassroots level. Still on sports, Morocco have booked a ticket to the grand finale of the Under-17 Africa Cup of Nations after edging Cote d'Ivoire 4-3 on penalties. On Saturday, April 19, the North Africans will now battle a resurgent Mali side who cruised past Burkina Faso earlier in the day with an emphatic 2-0 win. Cote d'Ivoire Young's Lion Elephants will then face off against Burkina Faso Stallions in the third-place playoff. And that wraps up our bulletin on News Now. Many thanks for joining us. I'm Victoria Akonde. See you next time.